Everybody's got a song inside. Everybody's got a sunny side. Sure as every ocean's got a tide. Everybody's got a song inside.
Roland Willits, Old Men Stories. I'm here with my son, Rick Riegle. Actually, my son-in-law. But because we're only about 12 years apart.
No, we're not even that far. I'm 65.
And I'm 9 years apart. So,
yeah.
But I could have,
At least you got my good side here with all my teeth ain't missing.
That's right. That's right. You get teeth replacement system going on. I've had that happen. Yeah, you go around for a few days in this. Better show my. No, yes.
Yeah.
Well, today our show is on improvising, and we're sitting right now at one of Rick's great improvisations.
This is an improvisation.
Yes, and Rick has been an improviser all his life, but in the last 25, 30 years, building this whole place here, he has 15 years.
I went into this business when I was 50.
50, okay. He really got into doing phenomenal improvising. He has created a small empire here with these huge holding tanks, and he does oil reclamation. And right now he's building a water reclamation system, and it's all from inside his own little noggin. You're just improvising as you go along. I mean, you're reading stuff, and you got all kinds of technical stuff coming, but you're creating it in your area, right?
Yeah, I basically what I want. I know what I want to do, and then I will, in turn, work on it in my head. Just keep working on this problem in my head till I can come up with what I think is going to be a solution. One of the big things I want to do is, in any business, costs are your overriding item that you've got to beat. If you want to stay in business, you got to beat your costs. You got to somehow make enough money to pay your costs and show a profit. And one of the reasons we have to do that is because in the United States we have this thing called competition. And even though I do a lot, I started this whole business I wanted to get a job for myself because when I went into it, I just wanted to be one little guy with one little truck doing just one little job. And this business just kept morphing into more and more than what I had planned on. Never had I planned on having 9 people working for me. I just wanted a job make enough money for myself. But if you want to stay in business, you've got to be able to roll with the flow, so to speak. If you stick all your eggs in one basket, when that basket gets a hole in it or the chickens ain't laying anymore, you're out of business. So basically what I've done here is I've just branched out into other things. Collecting used oil. At one time I would just collect the oil and sell it to processors. Now I am a processor. Reason being is it just costs started. I still had a certain amount of costs, and I had to show a profit to stay in business. So I got thinking about how could I do this? How could I build this system that I could do it cheaper than my competitors? Well, I learned how to. One of the most unique things that I've done is I invented a manifold where I can take any one of my trucks or any place on this plant with just a moving 2 valves. I can run oil anywhere I want to in this plant, anywhere in these trucks. I can change the flow of oil from coming into a place to going back out in just less than a second. Also on my heater, the tank, I have a 15,000 gallon tank that I use to heat the oil. even though it was a little more expensive initially, I use 100% of the heat from my boiler. I transfer that to the oil. I not only have the tubes within the tank themselves that heats the oil up, I run all the exhaust from my boiler around the outside of the tank. So I'm heating the oil inside, outside. So it does so much faster. And in between each load of oil that I cook, I have a solar heater that keeps the oil in there. We use heat from the sun just to basically take it heats the oil up as much as it can. Just in the short day or so that it's in there before I actually fire my boiler up, we let the sun heat the oil up. So that it's just always ways to cut costs. Now my next project, being in this used oil reclamation business, a lot of industrial suppliers, places where we get oil, also have industrial waste water. Not sewage, it's water that they'll use in their process for whatever plant it will be. They're always trying to get rid of that. Okay, well, if that's the case, I myself have water that I get just through picking up oil. There's always a little bit of water in it, so to alleviate that problem, what I've done here is I've started building a water processing plant. 2 years ago, I went to Arizona and I bought a plant, brought it here.
Bought a machine.
I bought a machine. I bought all the machinery out of the plant, put it that way, and I moved it here. What we're doing here, what you're looking at, is I built a containment area where I can put 3 15,000-gallon tanks. That would be this particular containment area here. And although it's just water that we're doing, I never want it to be able to get out into the environment before I have a chance to process it. What I'm sitting on here is I built a oil water separator. We're going to let Mother Nature do a lot of work for us that before we do the final job. Trucks will unload in here. You can't really see it, but there's 2 small windows. This is a 10,000-gallon tank here that we constructed. There's 2 small windows there. Oil always rises to the top in water.
The
Oil and water do not mix. Okay? In that case, we're going to unload our trucks here that have the oil and the water mix into it. As it goes into this initial section right here, the water that is already in this container, this unit will not work unless there's water in there. There's 2 small windows, a foot off the floor, that will allow water to go from one compartment to the next. If the oil will be on top of the water, it will not have a chance to get through the windows underneath. Right. So what we will have is the oil will stay on this side, the water itself will sneak underneath that wall and come out into the other compartment. So we will pump the water out of that side into our holding tanks before it goes into the processing center. Once we get one of the bad things in the processing, if you get oil into the processor, it pretty well blocks everything, shuts everything down. We got to pull it apart, clean it, and get it up and running again. You lose a lot of time and, of course, money. So that's why we only want to have water going into that unit. So we're going to separate it all right here. But it's a little expensive to do it this way to start off with. But once it's here, it's done. And there's no maintenance. There's no upkeep. There's no, it doesn't cost you anything. You just let Mother Nature take care of it. So this little way I've improvised to help cut costs. And to save energy also.
And save energy and another improvision. And this is someone that's done it all on his own with 9 staff, but created this whole thing in your own mind. And this is for everyone. Improvising is an awesome journey in life.
I've lived my whole life. I've lived by my wits, and I tell that to everybody. I said it's just amazing that I went to college, never even finished high school.
But you have
But,
an awesome place
but I
here,
just live
and
by my
you have
wits.
a college degree in Oompa.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I hope your Mike picked that word up right.
everyone, I hope I did too. Everyone, we thank you, and this is Roland Willits and Rick Riegle, OMSR. Thank you.
Come back again when I got this thing done. I'll show it to you when it's finished.
Sure as every ocean's got a tide, everybody's got a song inside.